The movie starts in a dress boutique where we see Xenia working as a seamstress. She is attending to her client Sonia, who is about to get married to her fiancé Victor, a doctor. Sonia eagerly shares with Xenia pictures of her envisioned wedding church. She asks Xenia about her wedding dress, but Xenia confesses she's unmarried, despite having a doctor named Paulina. Victor, despite the superstition, checks on Sonia before the wedding. They send him off and Paulina starts crying. So Victor decides to pet her. They observe him caring for a baby, praising his potential as a good husband and his readiness for fatherhood. The preparation ends and Xenia returns home but can't find her boyfriend. She calls his number to no avail and waits for him for a while before deciding to look for him at his studio since he is an artist. That night, Xenia holds her baby in her hand and runs to Kira's studio but finds him having intercourse with another lady. It seems ridiculous, and he doesn't feel bad for his act. Instead, he embarrasses her by reminding her not to visit his workplace. He sends her away, and she's heartbroken. The next day, she tears up at work, and Kate, a colleague, notices her distress. Kate consoles her by telling her to act as if nothing has happened, and everything will return to normal again. Xenia returns home and carries Kira's sketchbook, where she sees the sketches of the lady he is making out with. She can't help but tear up again. Her mother takes the sketchbook away and consoles her. She reminds Xenia that a relationship can't be forced, unless with dark magic, and advises Xenia to move on. In the next scene, Xenia makes another attempt to contact Kira. She visits his parents' house and she meets his mother, Elena, who doesn't even come to welcome her. Speaking from a distance, she informs Elena that she's delivering Kira's luggage because she won't go home or answer her calls. Elena ridicules her assumption about Kira's whereabouts and companionship, then instructs her to drop the bag. Xenia leaves and goes to Kira's studio where she finds him with his new girlfriend. She pleads for his presence, suggesting he can balance time with other girls for creativity while they work on their relationship. He dismisses any connection, emphasizing their child doesn't grant ownership. Furious, she hits him, but he pushes her aside and wipes the blood from his face with his handkerchief. He tosses the handkerchief onto her, signaling the end of their relationship. Xenia decides to take his handkerchief and visits Aza, a gypsy, for a love spell. While slicing meat, Aza questions Xenia about her feelings for Kira, pressing to ensure they're genuine and not merely a matter of pride. After confirming, she explains the spell will only work involving two other parties with a strong love for each other. She asks if Xenia has any friends getting married soon, and she says yes. She gives Xenia some ingredients for the spell, and after cutting Xenia's hand, places over a piece of meat for her preparation. On Sonia's wedding day, Xenia attends and plans to cast the spell. Sonia also sees a man, Oleg, attending her wedding, but she doesn't seem interested in seeing him. As the ceremony begins, Xenia follows the instructions by lighting the candles and drips her blood onto Kira's handkerchief. She burns the handkerchief and eats the rotten meat. The spell starts taking its effect and Sonia gets a nosebleed. Afterward, the couple proceeds out of the hall. Feeling weak, Xenia staggers out and collapses in front of the couple. The scene changes to the hospital and Sonia, still in her wedding dress, is displeased about how her wedding went. Oleg comes to console her, and she rests on him while Victor attends to Xenia in the patient room. Xenia wakes and apologizes to Victor for ruining his wedding, but he doesn't take it as a big deal. Victor goes to look for Sonia in the lounge but can't find her. He hears a sound in a room and sees Sonia making out with Oleg. Furious, he walks away and breaks up with Sonia, despite her pleading for not knowing how it happened. That night, when there was a heavy storm, Xenia hears noises and shuts her window. She sees Kira by the door. She approaches and apologizes and pleads for her forgiveness. They start kissing and Kira carries her back to his studio. They have a romantic night as they make out and go to bed. The following day, Kira is mesmerized by her beauty and decides to sketch her. Later, Xenia gets a call from her mother that the storm has destroyed the window at home. They immediately rush home and Kira puts a plank on the window. Xenia initially invites her mother to stay, but Kira rejects the idea in an unfriendly manner. Upon returning home, Kira tries to make a sculpture of Xenia, but frustration sets in as it doesn't turn out as planned. He asks to put the paints on her, which she hesitates at first but eventually agrees. While he works, Paulina starts crying, and Sonia wants to attend to her daughter, but Kira refuses and attends to her instead. He returns and has intercourse with her while she is covered with paint. Xenia eventually returns to work and sees Sonia with her wedding dress, asking for a refund. Sonia accuses her of ruining her marriage, questioning her presence at the wedding. Xenia wonders what happened and decides to call Aza, but hears distorting sounds while feeling a sharp pain in her stomach. She starts hearing a woman crying and sees an illusion of a dead woman in Sonia's wedding dress, which gets her scared. After work, Xenia can't find Paulina at home. She runs to Kira's studio and sees Paulina crying helplessly. She accuses Kira of not caring about them, but he insists she is always busy and wants them to be together without any hindrance. Sensing that Kira is getting unusually obsessive, Xenia reprimands him, but he gets angry and breaks one of his sculptures, which frightens her. However, he apologizes afterward and hugs her. The following day at work, Victor visits for his refund and Xenia requests to talk to him. She tries to apologize for what she did for his wedding, but he isn't interested and comments on another beautiful dress she has made and holds her hand. After he releases her hands, she gets startled by another pair of hands holding her. She then feels a sharp pain in her stomach, and Victor attempts to take her home, but gets attacked by Kira. He stops when Xenia explains what happened, and he apologizes. Victor then gives Kira a bandage for his injury and leaves. Later, Kira takes Xenia to his parents' house, where he proposes to Xenia, but she requests some time to consider. Elena chuckles at her response, but Kira reprimands her and backs Xenia. Kira asks Elena for her family heirloom engagement ring, but Elena refuses to release it. She claims it is a family heirloom, and she would only give it to a lady who is worthy and has her blessing. That is when Kira takes a pair of scissors and goes to cut his mother's finger and takes the ring. His father intervenes, but he pushes him away and uses the ring to propose to Xenia. Kira's father hits him, urging her to run. Before she can escape, Kira grabs her and inquires about Paulina's whereabouts. Realizing his harmful intent towards the girl, she trails him to his studio carrying Paulina. Xenia confesses to casting a love spell on him and begs him to let them go, but he hits her head and she faints. When she wakes up, she finds herself in a pool of paint and sees Kira pouring the same paint on Paulina. She breaks free, hits Kira while he is distracted, and runs away with Paulina. Luckily, she meets a lady who gives them a lift, but Kira chases them. The lady distracts him with a sharp turn and manages to escape from him. Xenia decides to spend the night at Victor's house to hide from Kira. The following day, Victor goes to work and Sonia comes to apologize again, but he refuses to hear her. Later, Victor notices a corpse in the elevator and sees the bandage he gave Kira. He uncovers the corpse and confirms Kira's death. At home, Xenia is haunted by Kira, and Victor comes to tell her Kira is dead. She follows him to the hospital and asks for a private time with Kira, but the corpse drags her into the morgue. She breaks free and goes out to meet Victor, but Sonia finds them there and gets angry. After she leaves, Victor reveals to Sonia that Kira is dead, which is what Xenia had come for. Xenia eventually confesses what she has done, and they visit Aza together. Aza tells them the spirit is angry because there isn't true love in the process. She doesn't know what the spirit wants in return, so she summons the spirit into Victor's body. The spirit reveals that he wants Xenia's soul. Victor tries to kill himself and attacks Xenia when she intervenes, but they are rescued by Aza's mother, an old gypsy. She explains that the marriage they thought was based on true love isn't real and has angered the spirit. To rectify this, the participants must willingly come to the church for a reversal. That night, Victor meets with Sonia and explains that he never loved her, and he knows she didn't love him either. Sonia gets pissed and she walks away, refusing to help Xenia reverse the spell. That is when she meets Kira, who attacks her, and she collapses. At the church, Xenia starts the reversal, and all the participants arrive. However, she finds it difficult to untie the candles, and the spirit possesses Sonia because of her reluctance to attend the reversal. The spirit attacks them, and when the old gypsy chases it away, Sonia speaks in Xenia's mom's voice, asking for Paulina. They go to the studio and meet Xenia's mom, nailed down. Victor tends to her while Xenia looks for Paulina, only to find out that Paulina and her mother are hiding under the bed. Turns out the person nailed down is Kira, and he attacks Victor. Left with no choice, Xenia decides to give her soul to the spirit. She drowns herself in a tub of paint and dreams about the alternate life of Victor and herself as a family with Paulina. But in reality, Xenia dresses in a black gown like a bride and goes to the altar to meet Kira. Subscribe to watch more videos like this and leave a like to help the channel out. Also leave a comment if you'd like us to recap your favorite movie. Thanks for watching.